I arrive 10 minutes early and tell the receptionist that I am here for an interview. She tells me to wait while she notified the interviewer. While she was doing this, I'm sitting on a chair petting the office dog. He ended up being the only good thing about the place. After a few minutes, one of the interviewers walks out and introduces himself as the owner. He then asks for my resume and tries to rip my folder out of my hands. I always bring a folder with my resume and typed out responses to common interview questions that I can use as a reference to my interviews. I then moved the folder away from him so I could take my resume out myself. He then stands there looking it over for a few seconds because he clearly didn't look at it beforehand. He then tells me to take a seat so he could ask me some questions. Keep in mind that we didn't go to a private office for this interview. We were still sitting near the receptionist desk. Anyways, he asked me some questions. Owner, how old are you? Weird first question, but okay. Me, 24, owner. You got a 3.42 gigapascals. I'm a recent grad, so I left my GPA on my old resume. I have since taken it off for the time being. Me, yes, owner. Is that a lie? Me, no. Owner, this job is $13 an hour and it is 6 days a week. Are you okay with that? Me, not really, as that wasn't mentioned in the job description, but yes, I am. Owner, I want you to make a lot of money. If you just come into work every day from 9 to 5 and leave, don't expect any raises. Okay. Now at this point, I am no longer interested in the job. I could have easily walked out as we were still sitting by the receptionist, but I decided to stay. Why? Because it sucks to put in some light preparation the night before, wake up early, dress nice, and drive to the building only to find out in the first minute that the job sucks. I might as well just use the time as interview practice, right? Anyways, I put my bullshitting cap on for the rest of the interview. He then leaves and says that 2 other interviewers will come in to join me. A few minutes later, a young lady and man walk to the receptionist area. They asked me to tell them about myself, why I want to work there, and what computer software I have experience in. Then the owner comes back out. Owner, I don't usually come back to the interview, but I was listening in and realized that I like you and I would like to get to know you. I don't know what I said that was so impressive because they only asked me canned questions, but whatever. Now that I think about it, I think he did that as a tactic to make me feel all warm and fuzzy so I would accept this crappy job. Anyways, the interview goes on and they start to ask me questions about high school for some reason. They asked what high school I went to, what I did in high school, if a rival high school is better than mine, and so forth. I'm surprised they didn't ask about my ACT scores. Then the interview starts to take a turn into crazy town. Buckle up, it might get wild. Owner, so who do you swing for politically? Who did you vote for? Me, I don't feel comfortable answering that. Owner, okay, but what about Trump? What are your views on Trump? Okay, wow. The absolute balls this guy has to think that this is an appropriate interview question is astounding. I even said that I don't feel comfortable talking about politics, but here he is begging me for an answer. Anyways, the interview goes on. Owner, what is something negative about yourself that you wouldn't want anyone else to know? What kind of question is that? It's at this point that I start to get smart with my answers. Me, I don't know. I thought I was a good kid growing up. Maybe ask my parents and get back to me on that one. The other interviewers start laughing, and as if they are on the Family Feud, they say, good answer. The owner didn't know how to respond to that, so I was pleased. Owner, what is your sleep schedule like? Me, when I'm tired, I go to bed. The other interviewers start laughing again, and the owner tries to justify his question. I was just curious. When I was that age, I partied and slept until noon. Then later in the interview, the owner turns to the receptionist and asks if she had any questions for me. Receptionist, do you have any kids? I didn't mean to, but I immediately laugh out loud at that question for how inappropriate it was. Owner, you laughed at her question. That must mean you're serious about waiting until marriage? Does that mean you're a Christian? I am in absolute shock once again, and the interview ends shortly after that. As I'm driving home, one of the interviewers calls me. I thought that they were going to offer me the job, but nope. He wanted to ask me more interview questions. Sorry, that is what an actual interview is for. They called me again a couple of days later, but I didn't even bother answering. This is where this story ends.